So here we are on an amazingly mysterious, spy-thrilling kind of a show on the radio Rodeo. I'll demystify that shortly. But here, wonderful listeners and viewers and seekers of inspiration, welcome again to yet another podcast episode of our wonderful show called the Radio Rodeo from the Rotary Club of Deonar. I am Rotarian Suresh Menon. With me is our eternal buddy, Piyush Bhatia. To be Rotarian Piyush Bhatia, I'll stand corrected, right Piyush?
Yes,
with the
yes,
privilege,
Suresh.
yes. I mean, he's so much of Rotarianism inside him. There's no way he can stay out of the Rotary movement for sure. And a big thanks to the amazing behind the scene buddy Chirag Aggarwal, who is like soon to become Rotarian, who for having inspired this audio video podcast right through this day of amazingly knowing such angels who are there with us. And today, before I move forward, Piyush always tells me to remind all of you wonderful viewers, where is Deonar? Deonar is in Mumbai, Mumbai is in India, and we are such proud rodeos. A Rotary Club of Deonar Rotarian is fondly called as Rodeo, and we are one big rodeo family. With me here are two definitely angelic Rajas. Raj in Hindi means somebody who can rule. Okay, there are two Rajas here with me. Raj matlab who can do Raj. In English it means somebody who can rule over hearts, rule over intentions. The one and only Rotarian Rajendra Date here on the show. And as he says hello, I will give it to the other Raj shortly. RD, we call him. The microphone waits for you. Piyush calls it the ice cream microphone. And how does it feel to be here on the show?
Fantastic. Actually, I can see the energy transfer from you guys to us. It's absolutely a wonderful experience for us.
Fantastic.
Thank you Piyush and Suresh.
Thank you very much. So, doctor, I always say doctor, right? When you said energy and all of that. Rajendra Date is civil engineer par excellence, 31 years in the Rotary field. Held all positions in the club, been president in the past. It has several roles to play in the district. Somebody who oozes to be the epitome of what it takes to be a model Rotarian. That's RD for us, fondly called. Always available, just a call away, just a glance away, and he's always there with a smile. Somebody who focuses on waterproofing as his profession, into structural engineering, and who is on the who's who wanted best professional expert in this line in all the major paint companies. That's Dr. Rajendra Date. I said doctor, you know why? Because he makes sure that he heals so many different humans around us in the various projects. I'm aching to get into the show and find out how amazing his experiences have been to be a Rotarian. And before I sign off, I want to say this about RD, that being a spy thriller or watching spy movies or mystery movies, right? Mystery movies
and spy
thrillers. The Agatha Christie's and the Perry Masons of the world, or
the newer versions.
Newer versions, okay. So life is full of mystery, and here is he wanting to demystify it to make sure that life becomes so simpler. That's this Raj about. I go to the next Raj. Is there a world called Raji, Piyush? Is there a world called Raji karke word nahi? Rajeshri, okay. Yeah. Hi, Rajeshri Mokashi here, the president-elect of our club. She's come traveling like 18 kilometers in Mumbai traffic, peak hour. Does it look like this? Like if this was an audio podcast, they would have said, I won't believe it. But see for yourself the freshness which is there.
That is also at the end of the day.
Absolutely, end of the day. And that's the spirit of what she has to give, the quintessential PhD in pharmaceutical sciences. Biotechnology, and somebody who's done so much of STEM research that our DNA, I'm sure, is going to be intact. DNAs of the future is in safe hands, which she is spearheading STEM technology to the hilt. Somebody who's a very new age health tech entrepreneur in the area of STEM tech, including dental STEM tech and all of that, which contributes to the fact that she is so much passionate about reaching out to the needy in the health sector and so many sectors. But not only she had Rotarian for the last 10 years at the Rotary Club of Deonar, but somebody who's taken up the role of being a president in the next term, which means you're taking up service to humanity to the next level. You're actually committing yourself to make sure that you are there, accountable to yourself to make it happen. That's what being a president of a Rotary Club means. We'll hear more about Rotarianism, if that's the right word, with RD approves, in the dictionary today. We'll talk about more of that later, but Before I move forward, it's my pleasure and honor to invite Dr. Rajeshri. This time I'm correct, right? Yeah. That doctor smiled, this doctor said I'm spot on. And before I give it to her, she also, and this is not doctored by the way, this is absolutely what the universe played. For her too, the passion is a family who is invested and interested in forensic sciences. And she herself is a spy thriller. I get a feeling that both of them are going to spy on us. So I better be careful and keep that 1 inch away, Piyush.
Yes.
Over to you, Rajeshri. How does it feel to be here?
Top of the world, because no one made me feel so. As what the introduction which you have given, I think no one has introduced it. So I think it is much more credit to you to see so many good points in us. I don't think we are worth it, but you really made our day. So that is what is keeping our energy high. Itna acha introduction who can give? So thanks.
See, whatever she said, I'm sure she'll agree. Raji or Rajeshri or Rajeshri?
Dr. Rajeshri.
Dr. Rajeshri. We'll call it Rajeshri.
Right.
Okay. Rajeshri, none of them was doctored, right? Whatever I say.
Yeah, you at least made it look like that.
What do you mean? I doctored it. And more importantly, that's the fact. We didn't doctor any of those. That's the essence of how it is. That it's really, really radiates and manifests what they give, because they make the world such a wonderful place, right, Piyush?
Absolutely.
I mean, they being Rotarian, you know that halo which you see, halo?
Yeah, yeah.
Behind, I can see the halo behind both of them.
Right.
Both the Rajas.
Absolutely.
You can see that Chirag to behind the camera, you can see the halo.
Yeah.
You can capture it online. Chirag is nodding. Over to you, Piyush.
Yeah. So Rajeshri, let's start with you. I am a Rotarian. I am not a Rotarian. Rajeshri, you are a Rotarian. You are not a Rotarian. So what's the difference? In a nutshell, I want to ask you is how is life as a Rotarian for you?
So before I joined Rotary, and let me be also very honest, the purpose of joining Rotary at that moment of time was, after I got into an entrepreneurship journey, networking was the buzzword.
Right.
So everyone said, no, you need to network. And so I started looking into what could be the organizations where I can network beyond my professional field. And Rotary was suggested to me. So with a very selfish motive, I actually got into Rotary. But once I got into the Rotary, the world changed. The world completely changed, because then it became the goal and the objective started coming up in saying that, oh, I'm so blessed to be in Rotary, because it has given some chance. And I'll take up some clue from what even Suresh said. There is something destined, so which is giving you a chance in saying that how you can really touch the society. And that is what Rotary gives you an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity to go beyond yourself. I know it is always the Rotary says, service before self.
Service before.
I would put it up, it actually makes you lose yourself. It is just not service before about self. It is like, you lose everything about self, and you suddenly start looking out and saying what you can do more for the society, what you can. So that is for me Rotarian, which is coming up over here.
Selflessness gets increased.
Yeah, you don't remember yourself once you are over there. So that is what it is.
Absolutely. So nicely articulated, Rajeshri. And definitely when you give yourself completely to the society, to the service, you start disappearing. That's what I say. Now let's ask Rajendra that for you, how is the experience of being a Rotarian?
Something similar, because I joined Rotary when I was at the age of 29, which was a very, very young age that time. That was the threshold age. Before 29, unless you are 29, you couldn't have joined Rotary. So I was working with after my engineering and my MBA, I was working with a company. Then the entrepreneurial bug bit me. And then again, similar thing, I thought no, because I was in the civil engineering line. So the kind of, from the morning to evening, the kind of stakeholders that you deal with were completely different. Then I was looking at, I had no professional colleagues. Once you become an entrepreneur of that kind of the field that I'm in, you don't have the same level of professional colleagues. Then we were wondering what to do. Then, in fact, even before that, I only knew Lion. I did not even know Rotary, but I knew a Rotarian from Deonar. So we were just chatting, and he said, "Why don't you just come over and let's see? Aja, ek do meeting attend kar le. Continue if you like it." So I went to the meeting, I attended the meeting, and I thought this crowd is something different. The crowd is something which I can relate with. And that time, of course, nobody was talking about business really. Everybody was talking about doing good for the community, helping each other.
Right.
So that really inspired me to join the Rotary. And then I was completely an introvert before joining the Rotary. Now I'm completely a different person. Now this only my wife can watch me, because before joining Rotary we were opposites. She was a very extrovert person, I was a very introvert, and now the roles are more or less reversed. So it was like
So well said. From a life of bricks, RD, I like to fondly call him as, moved to a life of hearts, right? At 29 years, being a civil engineer with all bricks around you and stones, you got into a life of hearts. That's a great balance because you can see in him. So, a life of bricks around you as a civil engineer, and you decided to make that shift to a life full of hearts, right? Bricks and hearts both came together. Thank you, too. And he's all hearts, okay? I can't believe I'm going to look at RD's certificate that he's a civil engineer. He works with bricks and concrete and all of those. But he only works with hearts and souls and touches so many of them. I want to look at the certificate and put it on social media. But jokes apart, it's been phenomenal, right? Being a Rotarian, and you said opposite roles reversed. You became an extrovert and wifey became an introvert. That's like an amazing observation. At age 29, when a lot of youngsters think about doing it for themselves, here is an example of a gentleman who decided to give it to society at age 29. So Rotractors are the ones who are youngsters who join below 35. That's the current benchmark. Rotractors, look at this. Maybe if you're looking at joining Rotract Club, probably should look at joining the Rotary, because no age is too soon to give it back to society. Correct, RD? Thank you very much for the perspective. Yes, Piyush, we're getting into the next freewheeling conversation. Sorry?
It is your turn now.
It's asking harmful.
Please come. Just
Again, ask that question again. We'll pan into you and
Okay.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
So Piyush, are we getting into the next freewheeling conversation?
Yes, absolutely. But over to you.
Okay, so it's freewheeling. Piyush says when it's freewheeling, he gives it back to me. I'm going to ask this to Rajeshri. One project that you relate to over 10 years, there are so many of them, right? But one project that you relate to in terms of impact, in terms of numbers, in terms of experience that you have in mind, which should that project be?
So one of the project, which is a very latest project that we have got involved into, and that surely has some personal experience. So I'm referring to the project which we are doing for the tuberculosis patients. So we call it as Connect the Dots. So why is it so very dear to me? Because it takes me back 30 years back. 30 years back, I myself had lymph node tuberculosis, and it recurred after 6 months. So I had a relapse as well. So I know how worst treatment of tuberculosis can be. It goes off for a year and so on. And you can imagine all this happening 30 years back. So tuberculosis was attached with a lot of stigma. There was a social stigma. People never used to even talk about it. So I knew, like in the family also telling me, no, you should not be talking about it and where it is and how it was. And it was during my just passed out of college. So that was the time when I had it. And for me, 30 years later, this can be the best experience of my life, that I'm not only taking this experience of mine to thousands of people around, and probably I'm the chosen one, that I was given this project in saying that, we should not only apply it for the Deonarites, we could go to the international partner, get funding for it. We could apply for a global grant, because there was nothing as such which was done earlier on for the tuberculosis part of it, and today we are able to touch 1,000 lives. That what we are going to, we got a grant, we did get a grant, we are touching 1,000 lives for it, and probably we would be a part of the mission what this government is trying to eradicate by 24-25. The tuberculosis is what they have taken up as a mission, that we should eradicate out of India.
Next year.
Yeah, out of India, and we are going to be those channel partners, I feel. So that is the best which I could relate with. So some things are always destined. I come back to your point. Nothing mysterious. Nothing mysterious. So a personal experience now has become like a objective of your life. So that's where it has come up.
Tell Rajshri that in the world there is no mystery. You need to spy. The world is so very fast.
Very transparent.
So by the end of this show, we're going to get them out of the addiction to chemistry. They will get into romantic thrilling songs. Over to you, RD. 25 years, 31 years, right? 92 till 2023.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of work in the district, apart from the club, of course. You've been the go-to person, the iconic Rajendra Date. What is that one? I know it's like looking for a pin in a haystack, but what is that one thing or one project you feel, wow, this is like, my birth ka maksad kya bolte ho? Mera janm. Purpose of my life. I try to do Hindi. Yeah? Okay. The purpose of my life is fulfilled. What is that one project which you have in mind?
So difficult to say because that purpose is yet to come.
Okay.
Because it is an ongoing process, but I would like to say that why there were two moments when I really felt that wow, this is what Rotary can do, and it felt so wonderful to be part of Rotary as a Rotarian. In early 90s, Rotary International decided that we will eradicate polio, and the deadline was set as 2005. Of course, it didn't happen in 2005 because there were lots of countries, lots of challenges, and across the world.
So let me get that. Rotary International decided to eradicate polio from the world.
From the world
By 2005.
by 2005.
I see.
This started in early 90s in Philippines, and it then spread across all over the world. And then it was decided that Rotary will fund it very heavily. So you will be surprised to know that all the polio vaccines, of course now polio is eradicated from the world, but all the polio vaccines were funded by the monies which were donated by Rotarians across the world.
And it was
of course
not by governments.
Not by governments.
I see.
Governments were only the facilitators, the ground level, but all the vaccines were funded by Rotarians. Of course, and with partners, now in the later stages with partners like Bill Gates Foundations and few other partners, but yes, the vaccines were funded by Rotarians. So that was the area when I had joined Rotary New, and we had actually done work at the ground level in the slums of Shivaji Nagar, Banganwadi. We were actually, there used to be 4 polio immunization days. They used to be called NIDs, National Immunization Day. So on those particular 4 days, the entire country would be flooded with polio vaccine. That was the idea. That's the word they used to use. Flood the country with polio vaccine on those 4 particular days. So on those days, the whole world, all children below a certain age would be given a dosage of polio on those days.
These are all oral drops.
Oral drops. And we as Rotary volunteers, we actually walked into the Banganwadi area, Shivaji Nagar areas, and that time it was even worse than what it is now. We used to organize, the municipal people used to be with us. We used to carry those ice packs with us so that the polio vaccine doesn't die, because there was a technical specification. So we used to transport vaccines from Hafkin Institute to our area, and then that would go in the morning. And so you have to do all this work, you have to physically go. That area was very thickly Muslim populated area where they had their own religious biases against the vaccine. So you talk to them, counsel them, and when the world was declared polio free in 2013 and 14, it was a big moment, because we all felt, including me, that wow, I mean, I'm a part of this global achievement. That was a very
the little
moment,
atom became a big bang world.
So of course our contribution as Rotarians, as Rodeos, was maybe so much as compared to whatever was happening all over the world. But nevertheless, it felt good that we were part of this. I have played some role, whatever little role I have played, in eradicating one disease from the face of this earth.
Fantastic.
Which like Rajeshri said, that now the next target the Rotary has taken up is to eradicate TB.
Right.
So maybe it will not happen by 2025, but we are definitely on the path.
Yeah. So definitely, wonderful listeners and seekers of inspiration, connect the dots, right? Isn't that happening amply here? A dot got made and got connected, and polio got eradicated. And here now in the show, we are having a situation when that linear line, I'm also a geometry specialist, okay? A linear line from the dot is going to eradicate tuberculosis very soon. And that's the apostles who are here, right, Piyush?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Any other points you want to add in or check out?
Yeah, so I think viewers would also like to know what is what is your message for those who are thinking of joining Rotary, like one of them is me? And what is your message?
I thought you already thought about it.
I'm thinking on that line.
Okay.
Let's see. So I believe one of the conversations that Suresh was having before the podcast is that what is service above self, and what is it? How is it? What do you mean by compassion? What is it with giving? But I sincerely believe all of us, whether you are a Rotarian or not a Rotarian, we are all inbuilt givers, right from our childhood. Right from our early school days, we have been taught to share our tiffins with the person sitting next to you. We do it for our friends, we do it for our building watchman, we do it for our maid. But when you join an organization like Rotary, everything becomes, the canvas is much larger. Everything becomes structured. The canvas is far more larger than what you could do as individually. And when you do it as a group, there is a great synergy effect which comes. So 2 plus 2 doesn't become 4. The 2 plus 2 it becomes 5, 6, maybe 8, maybe 10. So that is the I think the incentive for people who are looking for giving back to the society to join organizations for a Rotary to make a big time impact.
Makes a lot of sense. So not only the heart, but also the math of giving happens, and that's exactly what we speak about. The synergy of hearts really adds value. And I'm going to ask this to Rajshri, the importance of fellowship and bonding. I believe in one of the earlier podcasts we had a senior Rotarian, Jaitley ji, you mentioned about the fact that rotation of meeting at one's place, and that rotation led to being formed and Rotary being formed of rotation, and that means, but the bonding and fellowship for which Rotary was initially perceived to be made, is fellowship and bonding an essential part of giving this synergized service effectively? Is it important at all?
As is true in any walk of life, they always say, if you want to go a little bit far, you can walk alone. But if you want to really travel journeys and destinations, you have to get it together. So Rotary as a movement also is a big, big mission. It is not something which we can achieve in a day or so. And if you want to achieve such missions, it can be done only together. And together with like-minded people. So what fellowships and bonding actually helps is that, it brings out that synergistic effect, because you are then together with all the like-minded people, you get to know them. And fellowships really helps us to lighten that entire thing, helps us to get together, work together. Every project, it really takes you to the next level. So without fellowship and without bonding, I don't think we can achieve what we have achieved till now. And suddenly, everything starts looking like fun. So when you come together, when you're working on the projects, it is fun, right? Just as what we are now talking with each other, it is because it's fun. We love to be here, we are liking to be here, and that's what the fellowship does. So I feel that is something which is a must-have if you really want to achieve something great, and that's it.
So wonderfully put, Raja.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic. We can all walk longer, stronger by being together, right? Yeah, Piyush.
Absolutely. I think you would like to add something.
I would only like to have another movement of the Rotary movement which I had. As we all know, Rotary is an international organization. It is not limited to a specific country or a district. So it's not really only restricted to Rotary Club of Deonar. So there is a program called Rotary Youth Exchange, where there actually youth exchange happens. So for example, my son goes and lives in some other family, in some other country, with some other family, he doesn't go and live anywhere else. So similarly, a boy or a girl from that country or any other country comes and lives in my house. So my son had gone to Germany, on a particular part of North Germany, and there's from south of Germany, my son had gone to south of Germany, and from northern part, one boy had come to live with me. So that actually changed. So of course my son's life changed after that 1 year period of youth exchange. But not only him, but when that boy was living with us, our perspective, that mine and my wife's perspective to the world, to looking at things also changed. So that also great learning experience for us also, because our horizons also broaden. Not only my son, not only the exchange students, but the parents' horizons also get broadened. And that is when we visited them, and then when the family came here, when we visited their house, we visited their relatives around them, when we took them around. That one thing which really struck me hard, as a Rotary always used to say, that we always used to add words like world understanding and peace. So these were just dictionary words. Normally these words are used by politicians or by contestants in the beauty pageant, and we just look at world understanding and peace. ये अपने बस की बात नहीं है.
Right.
But that was one program, and after that program I didn't know, my God, what we are doing is actually world.
Making it a very flat world without
flat
borders.
world. So I mean, we realize that we are actually the same.
Yeah.
So maybe it's Indians, Germans, or they were all human beings. We are all same at the core.
Yeah.
We more or less hold the same family values for our parents, for our relatives, for our children. Everything is same. So why these differences?
Right.
So that is really the greatness of that particular program of Rotary, which really hit me that time.
Wow, it was indeed thrilling. And what can you expect from spy thrillers, right?
And one of the things, just to add on to Rajendra, one thing came up, like, one of the youth exchange program, what you were saying, they said, parents are the same everywhere. So whether it is the US world or the European world, they say parents are the same and the mother is the same nagging person every place. Like, just to add on to what he said.
Yeah, so that actually you hit the nail on the head, because he said that Rotary helps to make sure that all of us are, experience the same thing, and that's what you really narrated earlier.
Absolutely. So it's so simple, basic truths of life are. We just make it very complicated, and that's where probably mystery and spying comes from. It's very simple. That's what we got from these master spies. They've spied onto the magic. They have spied onto, I can use the word, the secret. And they opened the key to the hearts. That's what they've done, Rajendra and Rajeshri, making sorrow that much lighter. And that's what togetherness and bonding and fellowship does. That this weight of sorrowness goes down, it really can impact. And like what came out of our discussion, makes it a flat world full of love, full of togetherness, and so much more to be done, right, as we look forward. I'm also tempted to ask them, what's that dream project that they're looking for? And I would ask Rajendra and Raishi to ask that answer. What is the dream project, if at all you have conceived? That one dream project that you will actually walk out right from the show and say, I'm walking out, I got the dream project. What would that show, that particular project be?
Well, somebody has to dream. We don't know whether the dream will become reality or not. For example, in our club today morning, you met the musculoskeletal team.
Yes.
There was a member called Dr. Joy who dreamt of it long time ago, and it became a reality now.
Yeah.
So there's no harm in dreaming big, right? So what I talked about world understanding and peace, I really look at Rotary as a platform for the world understanding and peace. I would.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm like very eager.
No. So this is. So what are we doing? Actually, we are when we are going to Karzat and do some projects or nearby areas, and we are actually building the bridges across the communities.
Right.
So this is what. So I would really like to have like Rotary to play a major role in solving the conflicts across the world.
Got you.
I don't know how it will happen today. I don't know when it will happen. I don't know. But if you are calling me my dream, yes, I want Rotary to do this.
Conflictless world.
Across the world.
And just that amazing thought of that you're building bridges makes that another human feels there is hope for him or her. There is somebody else waiting for her to take it forward. That's a great
Absolutely.
thing. I was going to say that this morning I had to go for a visa to the Schengen country, and I think 10 years fast forward, looking at what RDA has prophesized, I don't need to go for a visa any longer, because the world will become one flat. Visa-less world, right? Anybody can go anywhere irrespective of nationality and citizenry, right? Thank you, Raj, for that wonderful perspective. That's why I said he's a Raj, right? The Raj on our hearts. Look at the dream, a world which is not having any conflicts, doesn't look like a pipe dream, looks like a dream that is going to come true, and it's tomorrow is not very far away. That's the essence I get when Raj said what he said, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm really hopeful for that, because if you go a Rotary community, if you go to any other country with your pin,
Right.
and if you meet another Rotarian, immediately the walls are broken.
Absolutely.
And you speak talking to like he is my brother,
Yeah,
or he is my
yeah,
very
yeah.
close friend,
The instant
because
connect is
of
there.
the same family,
Yeah.
because we are belong to the same family of Rotary.
Right. Got you.
So that hope of world understanding is very, very.
Yeah.
Still, I'm holding that hope very strong.
Yeah, it's a dream that is definitely going to come true for sure. Thank you very, very much, because whatever happens in rodeo usually comes true. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm just using it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
You say it on rodeo and it comes
Yeah.
true, right?
We predict here on radio.
Predict here, right? Live prediction. And I'm going to ask the Raji now as to what is her dream project.
So quite paradoxical for me to say that, because entire education, entire professional life has been in drug making and providing drugs. But if you really ask me my dream project, it would be that it build up a healthy world where no one requires drugs. So that is something which I would really put it up, something which is much more from a prevention side of it rather than what we now deal with, crisis management. Our entire healthcare system, if you really see, is crisis management. There is something and then you're responding and then you're reacting. I don't think we are responding, also reacting. So if I have to really build up anything as Rotary as a medium, I'm not saying that is the only medium, but that is a wonderful channel to build it up. Let's build up a healthy world so that no one really suffers from anything. So that would be some of the projects and the mission which I would take it up. That would be
Yeah,
the base.
before she hands over the mic to you, Suresh, let's wish Rajeshri all the best for her upcoming presidency in the next year.
Thank you. We all require your blessing, wishes, support. And we say there are two types of Rotarians always.
Yeah.
One is who is already a Rotarian and someone who is going to be a to-be Rotarian.
Absolutely.
So you fall into that category. So we would see you how next year as a Rotarian. So you are going to be that. And we already have a member inducted here, I'm sure of it. So yeah.
Thank you.
So the president-elect has already ensured that a Borivaliite, which is like a northwestern suburb of Mumbai, as crossing over to the northeastern suburb of Chembur. Quite true.
talked about world is small.
Yes, shrinking the world. So on that very, very happy note, when hearts connect and magic can happen, the dream of a world which is absolutely beautiful is no more going to be a nightmarish situation. It's going to happen. On that note, it's such a fantastic point to really close this episode, and we look forward to another episode soon, but not without telling you that this is got to you by the amazing YouTube specialist Chirag Aggarwal and the amazing podcast specialist Piyush Bhatia, the true buddies of the rodeos. So that's where you connect with them, because if you want to tell your stories, that's where you go to Piyush Bhatia and Chirag Aggarwal. They're the ones who get your stories out. Like they said, the stories of dreams of Rajendra and Rajeshri to make it a world which is full of health, no conflict. That's the world that they get us to communicate on this Rodeo podcast. Thank you very, very much for being on the show. We'll meet another time on another episode and get back these angels of humanity into life. And here we say bye-bye from these wonderful angels. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for listening.